Okay. Problem resolved.
All right, perfect. Okay, so we're called the meeting to order. We've determined there is a quorum and there were no disclosures of conflicts of interest. On to the meeting minutes. Hopefully everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes. I didn't hear any requests for modifications, or did I miss that? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll entertain that motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you, sir. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all right. Financial update. Shelley, thank you for coming and helping us out.
Sure. So the financial date, I know you're going to be disappointed, but some of the accounts are still screwed up. And so Emily and I talked about it yesterday. We want to give you a snapshot of what our P&L looks like, kind of a snapshot of what our balance sheet looks like, but there's some still things in not the right categories. And we're having some issues with the accountant that's doing it. In fact, I think not me, Emily is spending way more time on this than she used to. So, you know, it's just something to think about whether or not we want to look for a different one. Do we want to only get them involved at certain pieces? But I think we're going to need a plan going forward because it's not working very well. So the first document in the financials was August with the AR at 7740. That does tie to the balance sheet this time. That piece is good. But our cash is in some wrong accounts. And so you can't really take a good look at the cash at this point. And then when we go to the August P&L, just strictly for the month of August, there was very little activity. Only like $6,000 in revenue, not much expense. And again, just payroll, but a negative 47,000. There wasn't anything abnormal. We just didn't have the revenue to record in August. Any questions about that so far?
No, but Emily, since we couldn't get the 903 number to announce who they were, can we kick them off?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so August year to date, we are at $836,000 in revenues. My watch is dying. And then again, just notated the expenses here. One notation is the $400,000 that we expended in this year. Is this one on here? Oh no, that was that in September? I'm not seeing it, Emily.
I don't have it in front of me. Hold on.
Oh, it's the grants. I'm sorry. It's showing 508, but 400,000 of that was in revenue last year, but expensed in this year. So that's one of the things we've been trying to get fixed. We haven't accomplished that yet. And so when you look at the bottom line of a negative 333,000, 508,000 of that is pretty much, or at least 400,000 of it is mismatched into this year where revenue went into last year.
So that's ARPA funding, just so you know. We invoiced the county so that they could get that off their books at the end of last year. And then we spend it all this year and we have to have it spent by the end of the year. And we have projects going that are happening.
Does anybody have any questions on August?
No, but is it fair to recommend that we're not going to adopt and approve these financials
Yes.
with their inaccuracy? Okay.
Yes, no, we didn't have any intention of asking you to adopt them.
Okay.
At this point. Did anybody else have anything?
I had the same thing. Shell,
Okay.
thanks.
No.
So one thing I want to point out, like you see on the accounts receivable where it says membership minus $30,000,
Yeah,
that's what we're trying to figure out. And when they started to fix it, or so they thought to fix it, they ended up getting negatives in all of the accounts receivable account.
Hmm.
The thing that concerns me is on the accounts receivable, they added a grant reimbursement, they added a business recovery, and they added one more. And didn't bother to tell me that they added these categories, and I've been billing everything under just accounts receivable. Which I think we should stay that way. We don't need to break out receivables to grant reimbursement and things like that. We put that on the receipt that this is a grant reimbursement or a grant pass through or whatever. This is, I think part of the problem is that they're overcomplicating things and taking that simple piece out of it, that we just had accounts receivable. We didn't have these 4 different categories of accounts receivable. So when I go to pay an invoice that we have submitted out for payment and we receive payment and I go into the system to pay it, I can't find the invoice because they didn't tell me that they created a different category, so I created a second invoice. So now that we have discovered this, we are scheduled on the 4th and 5th of November all day to sit down and get to the bottom of this and get this straightened out. If we choose to move forward, I need them to straighten this out, because when you open some of the negative numbers that are in our spreadsheet, it's in a journal entry. And if you undo one side, you have to do the other side. And I can't see the whole transaction. Like I can't do that. I don't
is
know
that
how
the
we got there.
soonest? Is that the soonest they could meet with us? That's gonna be past another month end again.
Well, that is why I wanted to bring these forward. The good thing I want to share is that our checkbook is balanced. Like, we are balancing to what that number says of all of our accounts. It might not be in the right bucket. It might be in broadband restricted and it should be in our main account, or it might be in Main Street, but all of those are really just going through one account, and that account is balanced,
Reconciled it.
reconciled. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got one thing going for me. I did not want another month to go by without you seeing something that we're making progress. I'm not 100% certain that we're making progress. I think our board chair got a distress call the other day of, I can't spend 8 hours to 12 hours a month with these people to try to get them to get what we do. I just feel like this isn't brain surgery. It can't be that hard. But
Well,
it's,
we leave it to your discretion, Emily, to, I think, I think I speak for the rest of the board, or if not, please feel free to inject your commentary, but I think it's really at your discretion to hire and fire whomever you see fit to do so. And if they're not performing the job that you're paying them for, maybe it is time that we exit that relationship. But I agree with you. They do need to fix what's going on right now. And, the beginning of the year is a perfect time to transition to someone else.
we have contacted an individual and we'll meet with them in the first week of November as well. So we're starting to put feelers out to find somebody else. I love Bruce to death and I miss him dearly, and I think his heart was in the right place. They have made things so much harder on me than it was to start with. And I don't believe that was his intention. I think he was trying to make things a little bit easier. So
Yeah.
we're gonna look for another solution. We're gonna ask them to fix this hot mess we have going on right now. Fortunately enough, I know where the numbers should be. And I know what we have spent, only what we have to. And I know that our checkbook is balanced. and that I know where money should be. So until we get our Main Street, restricted fund to 13,000, our broadband down to 120, and our account back to where it should be, I can't promise those buckets are gonna line up until, part of it is that they don't, when they see money come in, they don't know where it needs to be allocated, so they just allocate it somewhere. And it's just become a problem.
Fair enough.
But I didn't want to go another month without you seeing something.
Thanks.
Hey, any other questions on August or any other discussion that we need to have? Okay, so for September, our AR went up. Obviously, broadband project invoices went out, and so that AR is sitting there. I believe that that money will come back into the account very shortly. I do caution us. We should get back to the 100,000 mark. But I do caution that, we're, between months and that this balance is getting at times very, very low. And so we need to be cognitive of that. And, it might be something, Emily, that you want to let Sherry know on a weekly basis what that looks like, until we get steady again with that money in the account. That's just my suggestion. You guys obviously can do whatever you want. But I just think it would be good, so that there's no concern, each week we know where we stand and there's no concern. Or there is concern and we need to address it.
Mhm.
We did just do the third quarter billing at the end of September for municipalities, and we've already received our 40,000 from the town, and I believe our allocation from the county just got approved this week, so we should get a check, midweek next week. We'll be back above 100,000.
All right, nothing else really changed that much. Now the AR is off again. Well, no, yes, it's off again. It was off by
It is.
$1,000. So, yeah, we can't get them to get consistent. It's frustrating. So we're being tested, in our ability to deal with things. But as far as September goes, as far as the P&L goes, still way under budget. For revenue, we're 73,000. We had budgeted 204,000, so significantly under that. The expenses weren't anything that was outrageous or anything that was not expected. You will see that grants now, when I was talking about that 400,000 is sitting there. Again, that revenue was in last year. Expenses in this year, total mismatch, not much we can do about that either. Payroll expenses were all normal. And so the good news is that if you take that 400,000 out, just on its merit, because we know what that looks like, our bottom line really isn't a negative. It really is a positive because of the mismatch, but it's going to show negative for this year. Year to date, again, we got some negative numbers going on here in broadband, direct support. It's been, again, I'm not going to repeat my frustration, but our total income, that's still, wait a minute, I'm not on year to date, hold on. Yeah, here we go, year to date. Total income, for the year, 402,000. We had budgeted 794, so we're significantly under where we said we would be. A little under on the More Housing Now grant, but we're 400,000 under our budget.
What would you, Emily, attribute that to? Because that's a pretty big difference. We obviously expected something else to happen that hasn't.
I think we knew that we were gonna spend this ARPA fund, and I put that in on the income this year on that budget. And because we run an accrual, we actually received that money on the 6th of January. We invoiced it in December, and so it goes to last year. And so if you pull that 400 forward from the ARPA funding, we're right where we expected to be. It's just that 400 is sitting on last year.
I mean,
Another area that, we're significantly under, which is helping us, the total broadband accounts, we had, spent year to date, 280,000, we had budgeted 1.3. And so that's significant. The tractor services is, a big chunk of that we didn't have any expense this year. Let's see, what are the things that I wanna, yeah, so the mismatch in revenue, here's the mismatch in expense down here for the grants. And so it's for the year, I mean, we're probably sitting at break even or close to it. And so when we take that expense out, and, you know, I guess ideally you'd want to be at least a little positive, but you know, right now we're about 1,700 to the negative if you remove that mismatched expense that goes with it. So we should probably by the end of the year try to eliminate some expenses wherever we can, just so that we can end the year right side up, especially with this housing project going on. People are starting to look at us. You know, we're going to be doing an audit before long if we keep this up. And so, you know, we really should at least be a break even.
which that's going to be pretty given the quality of our financials right now.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that is my report. We have no expectation for anyone to approve it until it's correct. But just wanted to put it out here so that you guys could see it and not, you know, in full transparency. So you have that.
That was a good call. Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Shelley? Hearing none, we can move on. Thank you so much, Shelley. We appreciate you.
Quite well.
Okay, Miss Emily, you are up.
Okay, we have some big topics to talk about today. So I'm gonna try to keep this pretty brief. I gave you a pretty comprehensive report. Couple things on phase one. We do have 3 homes under contract and we expect all 3 of them to close next week. I'll be signing all the documents on Thursday this week for all 3 homes. I'm going on vacation next week on Tuesday. Are you in town, Sherry, in case something changes, you would be able to go down and sign?
I am in town until the 27th.
Perfect. Okay. So good news, that's gonna be house number 8 that's under contract and gonna close. We do have 2 active buyers right now that are very interested in the last 2 homes. And we're hoping to get them under contract within the next couple of weeks. We're just working with them to get their documents in order and get their pre-quals and all of that. So, we're working on that. We did have 4 of our home buyers in the home buyers class. And, 3 of them are under contract right now. 1 is gonna be under contract here, I would say, within the next 2 weeks. So, that's good that they're doing that. They're getting that out of the way. You all have heard me complain about Prop 123. I sat through 8 hours of reporting with the Department of Housing to release our retainage from phase 1, which is 27,500. As of Monday this week, they granted the release and we should see that money sometime in the next 45 days. That money is part of the grant funding that went to offset the costs of our houses. that actually should come back to us at this point because, our contractor is paid. So this should come back to us. The rest, our last two homes are still on the MLS. And then we are still offering an enterprise zone for our real estate sector for the people who are assisting us in that. On phase two, our loan application was approved. We closed on our construction loan on phase two. We also processed our draw request to pay down the impact development fund. This was our pre-development loan. That is closed and paid off, and we have a $23 refund coming to us because they overcharged us for something. We are in the permitting process right now. We've already cleared the POPOA. We have been at the county for 2 weeks. We are hopeful maybe next week. We do have an excavation crew ready and waiting. As soon as we get those permits, they're gonna start digging on phase two. We presented to Pos D this past month to ask for a capital investment fee waiver, and we were declined that waiver. That does impact our project, and we'll get into that discussion a little bit later. Workforce development, we held our third Broadband 101 class. All of the participants completed the class to full expectations and walked out of that class with a certification. Some of them were just upskilling. Some are new to the industry and getting jobs as we speak. On the More Housing Now grant, we actually have just completed all of the infrastructure work. So every lot in Chris Mountain 2 and Trails now have access to electricity and fiber. Neil's Excavation was doing the road work, and I believe by the end of next week or the 15th, they will complete Traveler Circle. When I drove by that today, it's probably one of the nicest roads I've seen in a long time. It's very flat and smooth. They also have already completed El Dorado and Bonita. And they are working with the county to extend their contract to finish out some of the other road perfection in Chris Mountain 2. And they are working on those details right now. I spoke with the Area Association of Realtors. I gave a big presentation on all the work that we're doing in the CDC, specifically to Chris Mountain 2 and Trails. That was received very well. I had several people come up and say, we heard this work was being done, but we didn't know who was doing it. So it was nice. It was a great reception, and we should be able to get the feedback from. They did a survey at the end of the Association of Realtors, and one of the questions was pertaining to our presentation, and I have asked for the information reporting out on what the general comments were on the presentation. So I'll share that with the board when we get there, or when we get the information. On broadband, we had a second ISP going into our CNL building in Uptown. Our equipment should be arriving any day, which is our high routing equipment that will keep everything moving in that building. And they are working to get fiber to the hospital, since we are taking the main hub of the internet out of the hospital. They are working to get fiber to it so that they could be very stable, and they actually are working that right now as we speak. And I have been working on a clean mobility needs assessment with the town and the county. And today we were notified that the federal government has pulled the funding on that project. And we had a cease and desist or
Stop work.
stop work order. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, my tongue was tied. We are reaching out to the state because we were almost done with that. we had already compiled all the surveys into a spreadsheet. We just need to go through all that information and pull out the findings from the spreadsheet. And then, we also wanted to write a clean mobility plan of what our community said they wanted. So we have reached out to the state to try to fill that bucket, to complete that work. I'll keep you posted as we move through this, but right now, all of that work has stopped. We do have an invoice in currently for about $11,000 that will come back to our organization for our work and stuff that we have put into this. And we're just hoping that that gets paid. They said it could get paid, but we also thought this grant was gonna go all the way through. So I'll let you know when that happens. And then we were successful, between myself and Warren Brown and Matt Solka with CCI they adopted our Prop 123 amendment of Prop 123 as a priority one status, which means staff and resources would be dedicated to helping getting this problem solved. And what that is that the Prop 123 doesn't work for 100% AMI and below home ownership fund. And so this would be to amend that home ownership fund to have some flexibility, and how that's gonna look is gonna be defined as it moves forward. And that's a high level overview, Madam Chair, of my month.
Thank you, Miss Emily. Any questions for Emily?
Oh, I do have two things left to say, sorry.
Oh, okay.
This month I'm celebrating 4 years in this job. Can you believe it? Right?
Graduating.
I know, holy cow. And then Kathleen brought home the biggest award from the Main Street that we got to announce today. And I couldn't be more proud of her, and it's so well deserved, and good job, Kath. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice segue
Yes.
into take it away, Kat.
Awesome, thank you. Yes, I attended our yearly summit, and this year it was in Lyons, Colorado, up near Estes Park. If you haven't been to Lyons, you should visit. It's pretty beautiful and amazing. So 27 managers from across the state joined, and a few potential communities had members that they also sent. So we had a wonderful group. It was a great meeting, and I was humbled and honored and pleasantly surprised to win Main Street Manager of the Year and Community of the Year. I forgot the beloved trophy and the plaque. I'll have to send pictures, but the plaque was in the email today, but the beloved trophy is actually the chicken. And we get to add something to give the chicken a little bit of Pagosa. So we're working on that, and that should be a lot of fun. But
I was wondering what that thing was that you were holding in that picture.
yes, that is a chicken with a boa and some other fun little things, and that is the coveted trophy. And when I go back next year, I take that, and the next winner gets to take that to their community. So it was the managers have said always and consistently that the most we get out of being together is talking with each other about similar projects, about challenges and so forth. This was the most effective meeting we've had together because we got to do so much of that. We each had to do homework and fill out a Hall of Fame form that had 3 of our accomplishments, a word that describes our year, and kind of a summary. And based on that and everyone reading and discussing one from each of the communities, that's how they voted. So they really got to hear what we're doing in Pagosa and vote accordingly. And it was a great way to learn about other communities, what they're doing. And we always know we can reach out to the communities for help or inspiration, but now I even have a better idea about what communities are doing what, and have had one community that's about to go undergo construction who is contacting me regularly to get input about things that they're doing. So it's nice to be able to share things that we've learned. So so that was all fun, and I think I'm still walking a little high from that. So we also had our third wine walk on September 24th. It was another great success. Thank you to all of you who continue to show up and set up and do your tasks and help to make it a success. I can't tell you how many people I had share with me and share with others who were part of that it was really a great event to bring the community together. Everybody was so positive and having so much fun, and they've said that consistently through those wine walks. And once we got our momentum, I think that's all really, really true. And David Harris actually called me and said, I'd like to at least start brainstorming about how we might be able to do these wine walks long after the construction, because they've been so successful. So just wanted to pass that along and note that we have now reached about $12,500 in our business grant fund, and the board's current idea is, and it's just an idea, we have to discuss this with the board and see if it's possible, is to use that money to apply to paying utilities for a month for all the businesses directly impacted. That was one idea that was thrown out. So, but to be continued, I'll be sure to let you know what the board decides to do with how they want to spend that money. They really want to break it up equally to all of the businesses so that they can create the most effect. I'm also working with the town to add some additional signage, as was requested by some of the businesses or who have alley access to their businesses, as well as signs on the Jersey barriers to say this direction for public parking, because people have been driving around looking and not stopping, and that's been a concern. So I'm helping with that. Just to let you know, this is information that's going to go out tomorrow. The 8th Street intersection at 160 is going to close on the north side starting tomorrow. And they're going to access you can access those businesses through Rosita Street. So they're going to open up that access to Rosita to get to the Mud Shaver Car Wash and and Patria. And they will be opening 2nd Street this week. So 2 updates on what's going on with CDOT. I think the only other thing I'll call out is that we've had 40 Main Street businesses sign up to our business directory. That is about ready to go live, and once we identify any changes that need to be made, then we'll reach out to other businesses who have not yet signed up and see if they want to sign up. But I think 40 is a great place to start. And we're really excited about doing marketing with those businesses that are on our website. And I can't remember if I mentioned last month or not, but we did end up getting the $4,000 AARP sponsorship for concrete stairs and a railing over here at the senior center. And they're about to break ground on that, and I will keep you up to date on that. So that's my report.
Fantastic. Yay, you're not busy either.
No.
Thank you, Kat. Any questions for Kat? All right, Jeff, you're up.
What was the one word you used to describe last year?
Adaptable. Very kind of you.
Yeah.
In terms of the Main Street program and the board, adaptable, because we did a fantastic job on the ground of listening and helping where we could and as quickly as we could, and we will continue to do that. Nice.
Do they publish this in their network and something that we
Yeah.
can access? Awesome.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Big,
Thank you.
yeah, big.
Yeah.
It's a community effort, truly.
You're up, Jeff.
Hi,
Okay,
guys.
well,
I just,
have a,
can you hear me? this is Audrey with Region 9 Economic Development. I'm listening in, so I just want to chime in and say that you guys really are amazing, and the work that you're doing is profound. You guys just need to hear that. I want to say that as many times as I can. So
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So I just had a couple things that I wanted to add to my report. Everything's in there, but we've made a little bit of progress with Colorado Outdoors. They're actually moving forward with sketch plan to present to the Planning Commission on the 27th of October. So it's fun to see them actually making that next step. So they've been kind of stagnant moving forward. So thanks to Emily with all the community meetings and stuff. I think maybe that's helped them get moving. And then also Servitas, still working with them. Funding is still an issue. I have started talking with the town's financial advisor more and see if there's a way that we can all work together and see if we can kind of fill some of those gaps with funding. So still working with those guys, and Sagebrush as well. They're looking at funding as well. They had a little setback with theirs, but they are still looking to move forward next year and break ground. So those are the important ones, other than making sure that all three close next week, phase 1 houses. So
Awesome.
Any
That's
questions
all
for
I've
Jeff?
got. Those
No?
scopes of
Sure.
projects, are they pretty big?
what's that?
The projects that you mentioned, are they pretty big projects?
Yeah, they're all at least 60 units.
Wow.
You know, potentially as high as 90.
Okay.
So there'd be all multifamily stuff.
And where, did you say where they were gonna go?
Yeah, so Pagosa West is the property, the big property just past Walmart on the left, the
Oh,
110 acres.
okay.
So it's the affordable housing is just a small part of that whole development. Then the modular project for Sagebrush, that would be on Davis Cup Drive.
Cool. The Davis Cup
Just
Nice
just
Park, right?
just north of Higher Grounds. You
Nice.
can actually
Oh,
walk there.
cool. Yeah. Very nice.
So, yep.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Region 9, Audrey, are you presenting some information for us?
hello. No, I was
Hello.
not. I'm just here to listen.
Oh, I thought you were going to give the Region 9 report. Okay.
Well, I have never done that before, but I can.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's see. This is now I'm into my second month as the economic development coordinator, and I'm working hard on the SEDS. Do you guys know what the SEDS are?
Community Economic Development Strategies.
Well, almost, but
something.
comprehensive
Oh.
economic development strategy, which is a
Okay.
regional effort to, decide where we want to go as a region. So there's a survey I've shared out. Emily, I don't know if you were able to share that with this group, but there's a community survey we're trying to get out, and then also stakeholder community key stakeholder survey as well. And then what else? Sorry, we got Brian Rose. He departed on to Alpine Bank today. It was his last day. So we're looking to fill that. I don't know what else, but things at Region 9 are well. You guys have any questions, let me know, but I've never, there's my report.
Good report.
All right.
Great job. You did great.
Yeah.
Okay, pigs is, there you go.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions for Audrey? Okay, we're moving right along. Okay, discussion items. Emily.
One thing I forgot to put in my report is I did submit our Building Better Places training application. That is the training that we discussed to bring key stakeholders together to help create our economic diversity plan. That is in Grand Junction in February. We should hear something about mid-November if we are selected, but we had a very strong application with good letters of support. I already gave you the retainage report. Okay, the Housing Authority property transfer discussion is one that we need to have this evening. So the Housing Authority is offering to take over the affordable housing built in Chris Mountain 2 and Trails, and I think are volunteering. I'm not 100% sure to step into their lane and actually build workforce housing. A county commissioner has asked us to transfer the retaining properties after we finish phase 2 of 5 homes to the Housing Authority. It would come at a cost because we have cost into them, like we paid property taxes and holding fees and things like that. I have calculated the cost of what it is. I calculated the cost on all the properties we currently hold. So I just need to peel out the ones that we are building on and the 2 extra that we haven't sold. I just need to peel those out of this program. But I can tell you it's going to be close to $100,000 that we would get reimbursed to have these properties transferred. We also will not pay the transfer fees or the recording fees, because that also takes money out of our pocket. And what that would mean is a couple things. There's a couple of danger points that it could put the county in. As you know, we got the More Housing Now grant, and last month I had, well, 2 months ago, we talked about this. Last month I reported I spoke with DOLA and that a change of contractors would not harm the CDC whatsoever. We would not be harmed. However, DOLA is fully expecting 45 workforce housing units to be built in Chris Mountain 2 and Trails, and they will hold the county to that expectation. With that being said, how do we feel about transferring the rest of the properties we own and getting out of housing to the Housing Authority?
Do you think that the county can handle this,
Handle what?
the project?
The Housing Authority?
Yeah. And why did they hand it off in the first place?
They simply declined to do it.
Okay.
Do they not
They-
have a contractor in place or a team to help at that time?
Did they?
Did they not have a contractor at that time or a team in place to make this happen? Is that what they
No.
declined?
No.
To be
Well,
frank, they flat out refused to engage in workforce housing. They did not feel like that was their lane or their responsibility.
what is, and my
And that's the
suggestion,
truth.
or not suggestion, but my thought process is what has changed in the county? Have they hired more people? Are they more able to, or the housing authority, right? So
Right.
it's not,
It's
it's
not the
different than the
county.
county. Okay,
It's called Archuleta County Housing Authority.
okay,
They are a standalone entity.
okay.
And
But
who
they-
sits on it?
I'm sorry?
Who sits on it?
Oh, I
Like,
don't
is it
know.
board
For the
driven?
board, yeah, they have a board.
Okay.
And then Anissa Griego is the
Director.
director. Thank
Mhm.
you.
Does one of the county officials, commissioners sit on their board?
Yes,
John
Hanson.
Ransom does.
John Ransom.
Then we have, I don't think we have anyone from town council yet. That was supposed to happen this year, but I don't believe that's happened.
Yeah.
Clifford Lucero is on there. Steve Wadley is on there. Deborah Kearns, which I think might be the realtor that, is on the Housing Corp. Also, she do work for the Corp?
I'm not sure.
And then there's one other gentleman.
They have a community member.
Yeah, and I don't
On
know
there.
his name.
I don't know either.
He never speaks up, and so it doesn't stick.
Stanley Velarde.
What is it?
That's it.
Stanley
Oh,
Velarde.
okay.
Do they have a builder?
They-
Not that we've been made aware of.
Yeah, they're partnering with, one.
But don't they need to do an RFP process for that?
I think they are required to follow a procurement process because they are a quasi-governmental agency.
Which means putting out proposal and having people
Okay.
submit
I mean,
proposals.
that's kind of was my thought. I'm like, shouldn't they present something to us saying that this is the reason you should transfer it over? We're well equipped, we're knowledgeable, we have everything in place. We've got the money, we know, these are the contractors that we would have lined up in order for the CDC to transfer that over, because I mean, you guys have done an amazing job and I would just hate for Pagosa for us to transfer that over and then them drop the ball. That would suck.
What's the worst case scenario if we do pass it over and then they drop the ball on this? The county
county's
just gets a
in
bad
for-
rep or like,
Well, one of two
What?
things could happen if we do not fulfill the commitment. So if the housing authority, we transfer to them and they feel like they can't get this done in 5 years, because that's what we said we would do. They could apply for an extension of time, but it's not an undetermined amount of time. They have to like make benchmarks and they have to hit goals. If we transfer and they don't do anything, the county could be on the hook for $1.9 million. DOLA could technically come back and ask for that funding back. However, that's not really the business that DOLA is in, is what I have been told. The work has been done that funded the grant. It's just the promise was not fulfilled. So it will affect Archuleta County and Pagosa Springs in future grant funding from DOLA until this is satisfied.
next question, what are they planning to do with the homes once they're built? Are they gonna sell them all or are they gonna do kind of what we're doing?
Are they
to
required to have that
affordable?
affordable? Are they required to do that affordable or are they just gonna sell them?
Are they
Yeah.
So-
required to be deed restricted for 30 years?
Were donated to us with a restriction of 120% AMI and below.
Right.
When we transfer, that deed restriction is still in place. So yes, they have to build 120% and below.
So and this might not be relevant, but I feel like I should bring it up. There was recently a home put on the market, by somebody not in our town, the listing agent, I think was out of Denver perhaps. And it was a, homes fund home. Unfortunately, I don't know how to say this adequately. So, the listing agent is super shady and basically told told an agent working with them that, they had reached out to Homes Fund and Homes Fund had declined to buy the home. That was not the case. And I would hate to see something like that happen here. And I feel like we need to hear from the county. We need your 2 cents on it, or is the county willing to take on that risk essentially?
Well, I don't speak for the county because that takes 2 of 3 commissioners at least. So I can tell you what my perspective is. I think what we're overlooking is if this goes in the worst case scenario that you're talking about, and these homes don't get built, and I think that the question was, what's the worst case scenario? Yes, the county could be on the hook for the money. That's one big deal. But the mission of getting this done wasn't about the money, it was providing workforce housing for the people who live and work here. I think that, to me, is more substantial than being on the hook for the money. Because bringing another 30 people in to live in this community equates to far more than $1.9 million. It is generational revenue. I think that we committed to this. And I think that, in my view, should still be our commitment. And I think that it's improper that we're being asked to consider to hand this over.
Mm.
I can tell you, I've asked for the plan of the 11 lots that were recently given to the housing authority. And there is no plan that was presented. Does that mean they don't have it? I don't know, but there was no plan because I asked when those were deeded over for give me your perspective, a year, 2 years, 5 years.
Mhm.
And there was nothing offered. They did say that they do know a gentleman that they worked with on Rose Mountain that they would be consulting with. As somebody that was in the midst of this and committing, I don't think that this is holding up our end of the bargain. Would it be easy to get out of this and just to say it's somebody else's problem? Yeah. But I don't think it's the right thing to do. And is it worth the effort and all the stuff that comes with that? I think in the end it is, because what we are doing is building economic development.
I think Emily has done such a fantastic job of safeguarding this project as well, to make sure that there's nobody who truly, I mean, the only person that benefits are the people buying the home, right? And they're able to live in our community, they're able to provide essential jobs that we need to run this community. And I love that, and I would just, again, to the safeguarding aspect of nobody benefits but the person who purchased a home. And if we were to transfer this into somebody else's hands, I don't know if there would be those same safeguards, which is my number one concern.
And I would add to that, Gina, if I may, not only Emily, and she's done a fantastic job, but this board has worked their behinds off. And they have taken risks to make this happen that they didn't have to take, but to the benefit of building economic development and an effort of supporting this community. They put themselves out there, and you're not going to find this on many boards at all. So that's just my perspective. That doesn't represent the opinion of the county necessarily.
Hey, Warren,
Yes, ma'am.
in your opinion, what is going to be the political backlash if we don't move forward with it and don't turn it over?
Well, I've never been one really to give in to any kind of bullying. And I guess we could call it that, but you're talking about political backlash, and in my mind, it's the same thing. These properties are owned by CDC. The end. I think that governmental overreach may be a word or a couple words used to describe here, and trying to reach out and to either pressure or convince the transfer of property. I'm in this job and I'm on this board to do the right thing. I don't care what it brings, because the right thing's still the right thing. And I don't think we can quit, or I don't think we can give in until this is done to the best of our ability. Now, I don't want us always to be in the housing, but we were asked by both the town and the county to take this on. We have taken that responsibility and immediately started with a plan. And that shortly thereafter engaged that plan, and we have progress to show the results of that plan. This group, this board, has a history of delivering. If I felt, sounds like Gina pointed out, if I felt the same level of confidence in the other group, I would be all for it.
Okay, does anybody know where the town stands on it?
What was that?
Where the town stands on this?
I tried to reach Brooks today because I really wanted his opinion and he wanted to participate in this conversation. But we weren't able to connect.
Thank you, Warren, for being honest.
You're welcome.
Mhm.
So, in the, holding costs. You know, we do want to get out of housing. But we want it to be finished. So in the holding cost, all the administrative and the work we have done, has that been calculated into the holding cost?
No,
I think we should calculate that in also. Because we have
Absolutely.
put in so much effort in getting this done, and this plane would not even be in development if you hadn't have done all this.
Exactly.
I don't think it's unreasonable to just tack on a 10% administrative fee to the value of the project. Because I mean, typically if you're getting grant funding of any kind, you get anywhere from 6 to 10% admin fees, because that is widely accepted as the administrative burden, or effectively the value of the labor to administrate whatever it is. One, but I think there's maybe two things here that probably are not unreasonable for us to request. I agree with you, Warren. We shouldn't be conceding for fear of political backlash, or allow ourselves to be bullied into transfer of ownership, because it is our duty, I think, to ensure that this project is completed to the ability of the folks that we would hand this off to. So it's not unreasonable for us to ask for a plan from whoever is being contemplated for that, so that we have some level of assurance upon our exit that the initial intent is followed through with. Now it sounds like there may be some board members who might not be in favor of exiting at all, but I'm just saying something for us to consider. You know, I don't think any of us really wanted to get into housing, and Warren, you're right. We were asked to address the barriers to being able to build housing affordably for our workforce that lives here today. Emily did an amazing job at not only addressing, identifying what those barriers and obstacles were, but she also set out to put things in place to help remove those things, so that we could be able to provide these homes affordably in our community. So, you're right. There's a lot of work that's been done here, and at the very least, we should be remunerated, or we should be, recuperating our, at best, our costs into the effort. So, just things for us to think about. But I think
May I
at
offer
this
one more
time,
thought?
what, Warren?
May I offer one more thought?
Yes.
So as an elected, it's one of my obligations to look out for our community's financial well-being and the expenditures of tax money. Should we be asking the taxpayers to pay essentially a second time to have this transferred? Because
That's a fair point.
we already gave a value in transferring these. Because it's the taxpayers' property. And in transferring these properties, not only to CDC, but also to Habitat, and now to the Housing Authority. Should we be going back to the taxpayers and asking them to fund this transfer? I'm not sure that is a responsible use of taxpayer money.
It's a
Well,
fair point.
I like it.
I mean, just our holding cost is what we're asking mostly and our administrative. What would the taxpayers, it'd be just keep on tax debts that they were losing before?
Well, if the county were to pay CDC, so it would be at least 100,000. If we have 10% administration, it goes up accordingly.
Yeah.
And should we be asking them to fund that? We already have a value of each lot, I think, as I looked at it recently, about $38,500, $38,600.
Yeah.
Basically is the value of each lot.
Right.
So is that something we should be asking the taxpayer, not only what happens if we have to repay the $1.9 million? And so those are all things that really could happen. And do we want to expose ourselves not only as a board, but as a county? Do I want to, as a commissioner, accept that exposure of potential payout?
Cause we're talking 19 properties, right? When we get done with the next phase 2,
I think so.
that still need to be built on by
I
us.
think it's 20.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I went in our. It's not all in. here.
1920, anyway, it's,
Okay.
it's right there.
I think. So, yeah, and. Yeah, it's definitely, as a taxpayer, we never wanna pay uselessly.
Yes. I know, I hear it every day
Yeah.
and should.
So
So, go ahead, Monty.
the aspect of. Asking for a plan before we even think about turning this over, and then let's talk about it again.
I do want to bring up, because I think it, again, you're not gonna have me, so you may not care, but this board has like really gone out on a limb with this. I mean, way out there. What I would be afraid of is that if it doesn't get completed, everybody's still associating it with the CDC. And the reputation that we've gained by doing this will be for naught. And that's hard to overturn.
A fair point.
How do we feel as a board going forward with the projects, with completing the 45? Like, are we positioned to do that? Are we hungry? We want to do this? Or should You know, it's
Just the 5,
the 5+?
Yep.
We're
Oh,
not,
to do
the
more.
We're
next
not-
20,
yeah,
no, we don't want to do it, we.
I just want to check the heartbeat of where we're at. That's it. Let's see where we're at.
I mean, this has been more headaches than it's worth.
There we go.
But the fact of the matter is, somebody had to do it.
Yeah, and we.
It was a
Yeah.
need, it wasn't a want.
I think as Warren said, and the reason I volunteered for this board is this board gets things done in this community. And then that was before Emily came, and now 4 years, it's just enormously got more done. So thank you.
Exponentially, yeah.
Thank you.
Team effort.
So, it sounds like the consensus at this stage is, one, we don't feel like we have enough information to make that kind of a decision at this point in time. And two, should we consider that in the future, we would need more information to contemplate.
That's a
Yeah.
good consideration.
Yes, agreed.
Yes.
Budget, plans, contractor.
Who's gonna be the person
Yeah.
doing all of their grant funding? Is there somebody, do they have somebody who can do that? Like an accountant, a
The one we
lawyer?
got.
I think.
Sherry, can you, I don't know the answer to this. Can you do it just like poll the people in the room and see where you, I mean, just to get a feel where people are at? or no?
Yeah, I mean, we can go around the room.
So
I didn't hear
what would we
anybody.
be considering? Is it, like, are we considering that we need more information? Are we considering yes? Are we considering no? What would we be
Well,
considering?
I
Shannon?
think the first consideration is, are we even willing to entertain it? And if the board collectively, if we poll them collectively, people are willing to entertain it, then, you know, we can go to the next step, ask for information, all of those things. If the majority of people aren't willing to entertain it, we should maybe be done with the conversation. I don't know. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I,
I mean, I'll go, I just wanna mimic of what we've been saying. If we are gonna pass it over, it just has to be what Emily has made, and it has to be almost identical, or if not better. I don't know how we could top this off. But it just has to be supreme from planning to XYZ. And we have to see it and collectively feel good as a
but even
board.
even if you see it, Mario, doesn't mean they're gonna do it.
That's true. I mean, you're
I
so
mean,
right.
that's another risk.
My thought is if we've committed to this, I'm sure this group will do it. If it goes anywhere else, I'm not so sure, even with more information, and I don't want to be blind to opportunities. But I haven't heard or seen anything that would change my mind that initially compelled me to accept this as a responsibility from the county and the town initially.
Well, I mean, I guess the best indicator of whether there is a good opportunity that they would fulfill the obligations as we would expect, is what they're gonna do with these 11 properties they just got. So, Emily needs something to respond to the commissioner with, based on her takeaways from this board meeting. Is that right, Emily?
Yes,
Well,
I get berated in every meeting I'm in about this topic. I need to provide some sort of direction to a commissioner.
Well,
So-
Emily, you've done all the work. How do you feel about it?
Can
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'd like to speak last, actually.
Um. I was gonna say. The program that you started, like this whole workforce housing was to benefit the community, even though. It's not something you wanted to do. It's not something that you ever thought you were gonna be doing. However, like, community development. Like, that's what this group does, and it's for the community, and then. There was a commitment that was made too, so in regards to the commissioner who, you know, has the interest in taking these properties back, a commitment was made, and, you're doing a pretty damn good job. It's, and as far as the continuing on with the project, again, it's to benefit the community, it's to benefit the workforce housing and bring in those people, and it's not to benefit anybody else but them, so. It's my 2 cents.
So, yeah, I think we often said we want to get out of housing, and I still want to get out of housing. I don't care if it's after 20 or if it's after, that's what's how many lots that we have left. We're gonna do 5 this next year, so that leaves 15. But we want, if those 15, we want to see a plan before we turn them over. Now, if we hold them another year, we've got more holding costs. But are we in a hurry to make this decision without more information that this project will benefit the community? Now, Jeff, how much longer is your contract as housing, whatever your title is?
11 months.
11 more months?
The end of 2026.
Okay. So
The
yeah,
grant funding,
the grant funding.
But the town and the county committed the funding to close out the whole year.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna be here to all 2026. Helping guide all this housing stuff along with Emily and with the board here, but you're really for the city and the county. Not just the CDC. but-
correct.
So just more information, and then if it looks good, go on to our next projects, because you've got plenty on your plate.
Janelle, any feedback from you?
Very similar. Yeah, definitely would need more information. Give me some reason to have a conversation about giving it to somebody. Show me that you're gonna act in good faith. Give me a plan. I'm a taxpayer. Show me that you're actually gonna do something with these, that we've just been holding and paying taxes on. Yeah, I would definitely need more information before a conversation about handing them over to somebody that has not shown any advancement yet.
And the fact they don't have anything, like Warren, like you said, you asked for plans, they have zero zip nada. It doesn't seem like they're really in a position to take this on.
All right, Miss Emily.
Wait, Todd's here too. One more.
Oh,
Um,
oh, I didn't see him. Sorry, Todd.
oh, hey. Overall, I mean, with everybody else, with getting more information is key. What I really valued about what Warren said was talking about ownership, and this ownership lies with the CDC, but there's more to ownership than just actually physically holding on to something. It's actually owning the project and really having some sort of understanding of, is there going to be that same type of ownership if it's passed along to anybody else? Without a plan and without any information. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say it right now, like, no,
No,
there isn't. But that being said, getting more information to have some sort of understanding of what that plan is. I don't think there's any harm in understanding that, but maybe I'm naive to what I want to hear what Emily has to say.
Me too.
So I have many mixed feelings about this. I am a person that if I start something, I'm like a dog with a bone and I gotta finish what I started. And it's hard for me to divert my path to hand off this baby that we created to somebody else. It's hard for me. I can get over that. If this board decides that they want to get out of housing, I can shift and get into something else really quickly. It does not harm our organization in 1 ounce financially to sit on these properties until the end of the year. We have already paid all the holding fees for the year on these properties. We don't owe anything on them. It does no harm for us to sit on them for a couple of months. Would I like to get out of housing? I would love to quit building housing, except for I've found that I'm really good at it. And I lose sleep and I drink a little more and we get the houses built. But the absolute priceless moment that comes is when you get to see the homeowner signing their first home and moving in and presenting them a stupid little wrought iron key to remind them that it took this whole community to pull this project together. There's not one other organization in this community that has the profound impact that we have. There's not one. I can tell you, our funding is being threatened if we do not transfer these properties,
The county funding.
the county funding. The bullying that I continue to take in any public meeting that I'm at, that a counterpart commissioner is at, is disgusting to me. And it deflates me just a little, like, have you lost your mind? Do you not get it? I work for this board of directors. Whatever you so choose that you want me to work on is what I will be working on. If you decide you want to get out of housing, I can get out of housing and we'll get back to other parts of economic development. But housing is economic development all over the state of Colorado. It is a major economic development issue. So we're right where we should be. We are developing community. We have gained more collaboration among separate organizations than any other project in this community has seen. I think you don't have enough information. I think that we should ask the Housing Authority board or representation to attend our next board meeting to discuss their strategy of how they could complete the expectation of the workforce housing units that were promised for that Prop 123. Because I don't believe that the taxpayers would feel good about the CDC handing these off, that not happening, and the county having to pay back $1.9 million. I don't think our taxpayers would look at that very well. And that would harm our reputation. So I think we don't have enough information. I think the optimal thing to do would be partner with the Housing Authority, because they have the ability to put some rentals into play where we don't have that ability, nor do we have the capacity. We could set something up with the Archuleta Housing Corp where they could manage rentals, but we would still have to own them. And I don't think we're in that line of work. So there's all my conflicted thoughts.
Hey, Warren, from your personal perspective, being a county commissioner, how do you feel that, I assume it's one counterpart at this time, which would not have a majority at this time. But if we gave them a deadline to present a plan and they miss it, do you think that the counterpart would back off?
I don't know that answer, Sean.
Okay.
I kind of like the idea of the partnership.
I would love, that would be the perfect solution, except for they are unwilling to partner with anybody on anything.
Yeah, because we asked them early on.
We did.
Yeah.
Well,
We
and
did
then they
ask
could possibly take us down with them if they stand in the way of us finishing the project.
Why don't we ask them to get all their stuff together? It's no for now, and we can reassess in the beginning of the year. So you can give them a definitive answer, but also give them enough time to put something together and then put a bug in their ear again about partnering. Because it was.
I don't think it's no right now. I think it's, we don't have enough information to make an informed decision.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the year, they can provide us with all of the information. Like January, whenever our January meeting is, since we have everything paid for up until the rest of the year. Or you can maybe put the bug in there about the partnership again. It's just because they said no once doesn't mean they're gonna say no again. Maybe.
Did anyone else read that comprehensive economic development strategy that the state sent
Yeah.
out?
Yeah,
I mean, number one goal is housing. That's
It
the
is.
number one goal. And
Every economic developer across the state is working on it.
yeah,
So how are we not doing economic development by continuing?
we are doing economic development.
Yeah.
Have the.
So
other
back to-
Read this study.
back to I think, Emily, the original recommendation that I had, which is, explain one, that we don't have enough information to make an informed decision and we'd like a plan. At the very least, maybe you had a really good suggestion. Have one of their board members attend our board meeting next week to plead their case, or next month, sorry. And there was something else I said. There was two things. Oh, the reimbursement of the costs plus administrative burden.
I don't believe that the housing authority has $100,000.
Not our problem. They're making a request. We're explaining the requirements in order for us to consider doing so.
It will fall back on the county. Is my point, and then that goes back to the taxpayers paying twice.
If that's the decision that the county is choosing to make, then they all have to decide and agree on that. It sounds like you have one who's probably not going to.
We're supposed to bring our community together, not divide it apart.
Agreed.
Agree. I think we all agree.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is, and I don't know if you want to make a motion and give direction here. I know that I have to provide information tomorrow.
I don't think we need to vote on it. We've heard from everyone. I don't think it needs a formal vote.
Okay. So what I wrote down is we don't have enough information. I just have to be really careful how we word this.
So,
Mhm.
Emily, are you looking for a vote for backup?
I need the board to take the action. I can't take the action because they look at me like I can make this decision. This isn't my decision. You all own these properties, not me.
So
Okay, well, I would entertain a motion to be put on the floor that we consider transferring today ownership of the remaining properties to the housing authority.
what was that?
Yeah, I think I missed
Well,
something.
it dies on the floor if nobody makes a motion,
Ah.
so.
Okay, so that was
Yeah.
your motion that we transfer it? No. I will not support that.
I think your motion dies for lack of second.
So I would make a motion that we have our representative, Emily, go follow up and ask for more information, and we would like to see a plan because we would like to see the community benefit from the finishing of this project.
Can I ask a specific item be entered into that? You said ask for more information. Are you talking about the Archuleta County Housing, from the Archuleta County Housing Authority?
From the Archuleta County, whoever is going to end up with these properties.
The
Archuleta.
transferee, yeah, the
Yeah.
recipient of the property.
Yeah.
Is there a second or additions to?
I second it with very detailed information, having budget, contractor, plans. All of it.
Yeah.
As much as we can get.
I just think from Robert's Rules of Order, that has to be in the original motion.
Okay.
It can't be added in a second.
Okay.
Take-
Would you
All
like
right,
to
so-
modify your motion, Mont?
Amend the, motion for the modifications that have been mentioned here. To have it specifically from the housing authority, specific, detailed so that we understand this project will be completed for our community.
Plus reimbursement of all our costs.
Yeah.
Was that part of your motion as well?
That was just to
Okay.
know, we don't need to go there yet till we transfer.
Okay, all right. Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All right, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Nay.
All right, there you go. So we made it official. Emily, is that what you needed?
Yeah. Yeah,
Would you like for me to note the votes in the minutes?
Absolutely.
yes.
Okay,
We formalized it. So
I meant by board member.
I don't, do we usually do that?
No, I usually just say if it carried. So I just wanted to
Yeah,
clarify.
there you go. You can say it was unanimously carried.
It was not.
It was
Which means-
not though. You had
Oh.
6 yeas and
One
one
nay.
nay.
I'll switch
Oh,
mine
who
to a
was the
nay.
nay?
Yeah,
May.
I'll nay. Can I do that? I don't know.
Yes.
You can
do
nay.
that.
Okay, I'm naying.
So
We still have majority.
Still have
we have a
Still carries.
majority.
Okay,
Still
All right.
carries. So all I do is first, I do the motion, first, second, and carried. That's what's required.
yep.
So next month, I will invite the Housing Authority Board or their representatives, whichever they choose, to meet with us at our meeting to talk about a plan that would include, you said budget, contractors and plans. I think we're too early for that, for an actual budget of the project. But they could have an overall plan and just say, well, we've talked to Bill Simpson and we feel like, this could happen or that could happen. And
Some kind of overview.
Yep.
yeah, kind of an overview, yeah.
You want them to just,
This is rental.
What's that?
This for sale.
do you want them just to come to the meeting or you want them to present to the board of directors?
What would you like that to be?
I think they should present. That's
I
my
agree.
opinion.
I agree.
We don't need to entertain back and forth any kind of communication because they can't do anything about it at that point in time. They can't agree to it or not. We just have them bring what they plan to do and present it to us and then they can go.
Okay,
Yep.
Provide an overview synopsis on their plans moving forward and, yeah.
and just to be clear, their plans moving forward, if we were to donate these 19 properties.
Correct.
Okay,
And according to the motion, a plan that demonstrates completion of the project.
Yes, I like that
Fulfilling.
phrase.
That was in his motion.
Mhm.
sorry, I gotta write it all down. Okay. Okay. I have
All
my
right,
order.
I have a hard stop at 6:45, so we have a few more items to talk about.
Let's move to the lease really quick. Our new landlord, who honestly has put a lot of money into our building. They put a whole new roof on, they just striped the parking lot. They are gonna put a sink in our office. They are really doing a good job upkeeping the building. Our location is good. We have plenty of parking. It's ease of access. A couple things give me heartburn that they want to raise us 2% every year.
But it was free.
3%.
3% for the lease amount of year one, year three, increase of 3%.
Yeah. Do you need?
Look at this copy,
Oh, there it says 2%, yes,
original copy they sent to me.
Well, the one we
yeah,
got.
this one has 3.
That is crap, I'm just saying.
Well, which one is fully executed? Is it that one?
There is no lease executed because I don't have the authority to execute a lease, so that's why we're here.
Well, yeah, because I was confused. One place they say our rent's 1875 and then they say
Yes.
1950.
Yes,
So that was my question on this lease. What is our rent?
Our rent is $1,700 a month, and that includes all of our utilities. The only utility we pay is internet and phone, like we have a virtual phone. That's it. They want to take the rent up. One thing I do want to share with you is that they tried to inject this increase on our rent starting in September and only giving me 2 weeks' notice. And I said, I'm sorry, we're a nonprofit. We have a budget. If you're gonna raise my rents right now, you have to give me 30 days notice. You can't just inflict a price increase, and I'm gonna have to go ask for a budget modification from my board because we're gonna be over budget on the rent. So number one, I'm not paying it in 2 weeks. I'm gonna continue to pay you your 1,700. But number two, I have to take this to my board. She wrote up a modification of the lease that she extended the lease through the end of the year at the same rate immediately. So at least we were operating within a lease. So we have till the end of the year to solve this, but we have to start having this discussion of how if we want to look for a different space, if we are going to accept this, or if we want to counter offer. Things that give me heartburn is the consistent rise every year when we don't actually get a raise every year as a nonprofit. And then the additional charge of $75 a month just to keep the common area clean, meaning bathrooms and all of that.
They have a
I
cleaner.
can tell you, we had a bat in the sink dead one day, and the sink is disgusting. And I won't wash my hands in it because it's gross in the common area. They do keep it vacuumed, I'll tell you that. They did paint the whole inside.
Yeah, but they're asking for a 10% increase right out of the gate.
Right.
And then 3% every year.
They say that this is within the county standards of space for rent. And we literally occupy 3 offices. We do get $1,200 a year from the community fund because they occupy 1 office 1 day a month, every month. So they pay $100 a month to occupy that for 1 day. If our rent goes up, their rent goes up, so we could charge them a little bit more. Region 9 does not participate in that shared space anymore. They didn't do that this year.
do you not have that part subleased as well to the? No,
So the
that's
massage,
separate.
that's separate.
Massage lady,
Yeah, that's not our space.
the vault.
The vault, yeah.
Good one.
So I can tell you that this is the original lease that she gave me. And then she emailed me a copy and changed it all to 3%. I would call bullshit on that.
Technical thing. Yeah.
Would it-
So
Yeah,
what are you asking of us today?
Well,
Sounds
you
like
all
you
need
need
to
to go
decide
back.
if I should sign this lease.
No,
No, I think we should
Oh.
look for new space,
When you say shop around maybe? Or
even though this
wager
is a
this
good
is-
space.
Yeah,
Let's make sure we are gonna be getting Pagosa standards for a nonprofit.
right.
And if we don't go anywhere, I certainly would want clarification, what is the rent per month? And what exactly should we expect it to go up to, 2 or 3%?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because this is too watered down.
not only that, but I would, if we're gonna look at an increase right now, I would say cap it. They don't get to increase us anything over the next however long we want to sign this lease for. Because they're getting a 10% increase right now. That's gonna be almost a 20% increase.
Nobody has leases that increase every single year. It's locked in for a specified period of time.
Yeah,
It's locked in September 1st, 2025, ends August 31st to 2026. So a
Yeah,
year.
yeah, no, that's not
Oh.
commensurate with, I can
I
tell you
think-
that's not commensurate with.
yeah, and
These
I
are
think they're
January
taking the
1st, 2026.
1875 and adding that $75 to it to come up with 1950, which I think is more like a 15% increase.
December 2029.
And I can tell you that I do know that one of the two owners was doing the leasing part, handed it off to the other, it got to a mess. And so there's a lot of confusion on that side. So I wouldn't take all of this as intentional, and just know that I know that this is not their wheelhouse, and they've had a little bit of issue on their end.
So could we make a counter proposal, do you feel like?
Yes.
I feel absolutely. Absolutely.
Counter proposal or start looking somewhere else? Unless you guys really like the place.
I
And
really
we
like
got
it.
the budget.
Yeah.
It is a nice place.
It's a great location.
It's a great location, but, how much space are we gonna need in the future?
Depends on what we do.
How much space do you
Are
have
we gonna
now?
need 3 offices
We just have 3.
after
single
next year?
offices.
Yeah,
Yeah,
To be honest, this has all of Suite 4, so includes Julian's space.
Is
Which
there
is
an
shit.
out clause in it? I didn't look. Is there an out clause?
Hmm. I don't. I
there
don't.
was a
Okay.
lot of.
It,
things in
it
the
sounds
lease.
like we're giving Emily the latitude to make a counter proposal. And if they can't reach an agreement, for her to, also, or Mont, were you saying that you'd like to see her explore other opportunities?
I
So
would-
we have a
before we
sense
sign the
of,
lease, let's explore other opportunities.
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
This is
Okay.
a pretty one-sided contract.
With a counter proposal, a standard, if we're gonna do this 5 years, because I did that as a landlord. You want to sign a 5-year lease, I do what I call a guaranteed this rent for 5 years.
Okay. And Sherry, I know you gotta go in like 2 minutes. So the
Yeah.
PSD meeting, I have now spoken with Alex, one of the board members. I got a phone call from Bill Hudson and Glenn Walsh. They all would like me to come back and ask for the board to reconsider. So I'm working on a strategy of what to ask for. And we're looking at the first meeting in November. We're gonna need to pack that room full of all the people that are impacted from the work that we do. Like the homeowners, the PLPOA, so on and so on. So
Yep.
I will
Totally agree.
email out the date and put a hold on your calendar. I believe that everybody but Jean is wanting us to come back to ask to reconsider.
And I won't be able to be there. I'm sorry, I won't be out of town.
I'm so sure.
Just happened.
What's the date?
Last month.
Hold on, I think it's November 11th, if I had to guess. Hold on,
Right.
All right.
13th, November 13th.
Thursday, right?
Yeah, it's a
All
second
right.
Thursday in November.
What time would it start, Emily?
It will start at 5 o'clock.
Right.
That's good.
And you
time.
can attend via Zoom also.
You can.
Okay.
Mhm. And we've already talked about the accounting update and what we're gonna do there, so.
Okay.
And I am
Perfect.
going on vacation on the 14th and I get back on the 25th. And the following week, we have the State Economic Development Council Conference in Pueblo, Colorado. So I literally probably won't be in the office but 1 day for 3 weeks. Just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, fine.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Anything else we need to talk about before
I
we
don't think
adjourn?
so. No, anybody have anything?
Okay. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everybody.
Emily.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Shell.
Yes, thank you, Shell.
Michelle.
Good night,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you, Emily.
Yeah.